I always say never keep a gray paint color in isolation. I see this all the time. A wall is painted a gray, your flooring is a gray, your furniture is weathered wood, and your throw pillows are different shades of gray, and maybe you might have a dark blue pillow or two. But when you keep gray paint colors in isolation, it's never going to make your room come alive. Instead, you want to add colors, and that's what's going to make your room come alive. And just as important, you need to pay close attention to the type of interior decor and fixed elements that you may have in your room. Also, lighting will play a major role on whether or not a gray paint color will work in your room. So, today's color review is Wickham Gray. I'm going to show you the undertones of this paint color, and I'm going to show you what it looks like in both the north and south facing room, and I'm going to give you 3 valuable tips that you should know about Wickham Gray before painting this color in your home. The color gray is one of the hardest paint colors to get right because there's so many different undertones when it comes to gray paint colors. So the focus today is on Wickham Gray. Right here is Wickham Gray by Benjamin Moore. Now watch what happens when I compare it to Repose Gray by Sherwin-Williams. Notice the blue undertones in Wickham Gray. Now there's another color underneath Wickham Gray that I want you to know about. Right here is Wickham Gray. Now watch what happens when I compare it to Palladium Blue by Benjamin Moore. Notice the green undertones in Wickham Gray. This is a complex paint color. It's a chameleon, and it's going to change colors depending on the type of lighting that you may have in your room. Where you decide to paint this color in your home will have a strong influence on how Wickham Gray will react in your room. I always say the lighter the gray paint color, the more unpredictable it will be unless you know what you're doing. Let's take a look at Wickham Gray in a south-facing room. Notice the blue-green undertones. It's not a cold gray. It's not a warm gray. It sits in the middle, and when your room receives a lot of natural lighting, it makes Wickham Gray look like a light, soft blue gray. Now I want you to see the other side of this paint color in a north-facing room. This is where you'll notice a difference with Wickham Gray when it's in a north-facing room or any room that doesn't receive a lot of natural lighting. It will look darker. It's not that light blue-green gray that you would experience in a south-facing room, and don't be surprised to see a little purple undertone in the right conditions. Wickham Gray is a beautiful paint color as long as you know what you're doing, and lighting is not the only factor that you need to consider. It's just as important to make sure that the undertones of Wickham Gray will pair perfectly with both your fixed and furnished items that you may have in your room. For those of you that are new to this channel, feel free to subscribe. I give you valuable information just like you're seeing right here in this video. I talk about everything related to color for both the interior and the exterior of your home. Next, I'm going to give you 3 valuable tips that you need to know about Wickham Gray before deciding to paint this color in your home. Tip number 1, if you have windows on one side of the room, you need to think about the other side of the room. This is where you're going to typically see shadows, and this part of the room is going to be a little bit darker. And this is why it's so important to pick the right gray paint color for your room. Otherwise, you may be disappointed on the final outcome. Tip number 2, do you look up in the sky and you say, I love gray clouds? If that doesn't sound like you, then chances are you may want to reconsider painting your room a gray paint color. You will be surprised on how many people change their minds when I ask them this question. I know it sounds silly, but I want you to think about this for a moment. Can you live with a gray paint color 24/7? Tip number 3, for those of you that are looking to paint your north-facing room a gray paint color and it doesn't receive a lot of natural lighting, then I recommend you to look into darker gray paint colors. The darker the gray, the better it will respond to a room that lacks natural lighting. What do you think of Wickham Gray? Or have you painted your home a gray paint color, and how did it turn out for you? Let me know in the comment section down below. I would love to hear your story. And for those of you that are looking to paint your home bright the first time, then feel free to check out the link in the description section down below. I show you how I can help you create the perfect color palette for your home, regardless where you may live in North America. Also, I recommend you to check out my reviews to get a better idea on how I can help solve your problems. Thank you for watching. Feel free to share this with your friends and family. Until next time, I'll see you in the next video.